Adeshina Koike here at United States Women's National Team Media Day, and I am pleased to be joined by Heather O'Reilly, making her third appearance at a World Cup coming up in Canada. And first of all, Heather, I heard you explain and talk about Alexi Lalas in his playing days. You can't be dating yourself right now, all right? But seeing Alexi Lalas in his playing days, not just the soccer commentator as most people know.
Being a Jersey girl, I know that Alexi Lalas went to Rutgers University and played for, of course, Rutgers and the U.S. national team. So I might be dating myself a little bit by saying that I remember Alexi in his glory days as a player.
Speaking of New Jersey, so many players coming from the state of New Jersey. Just speak to the quality of youth soccer in the state of New Jersey and maybe explain why that is the case and has been the case.
Well, I think that New Jersey has a rich history of soccer. You know, you can look back on the men's side and see the names of legends such as Tony Meola, Tab Ramos, John Harkes, and I think that group of guys really paved a way in New Jersey soccer. And of course, the New York Cosmos being just so nearby in the 70s. I just think that there is just a rich history in the state for quality soccer. And then the women's side really sprung up as well. And, you know, growing up as a young player, some of my teammates always talk about how they had to play on boys' teams because there wasn't any girls' teams and things like that. But I had fantastic opportunities as a youth player in New Jersey on very high-level teams and with high-level coaches. And still some of my coaches in New Jersey are my mentors today. I keep in touch with them, you know, 15 years later since working with them. So there's a special group of people in New Jersey soccer, and I owe a lot to the state.
Is there any mentor or mentors do you keep in touch more than most?
Yes, I keep in touch with a coach of mine named Mike O'Neill. He's the coach of the women's team over at Rutgers currently, and he's been there for me through, you know, the good times and bad of professional sports. So he's always just a phone call away if I need to hear some encouragement or to bounce some thoughts off him. He's been really helpful to me in my career.
There's your third World Cup. It could have been four. You weren't able to play in 2003. There's always an urgency at a World Cup. But speak to your level of urgency, given that it is the World Cup, and B, it's possible that this could be your last World Cup as well.
I think that if you look at sort of the grandness of the event, yeah, it's easy to get overwhelmed. I think that as players and myself individually, it's so important to just kind of narrow in on what we need to do. What do we need to do as a group? We can't think of all those things sort of far off in the distance, and I'm just trying to bring my skill set to the team to help the team. And being a veteran player, that this is my third World Cup, I'm trying to sort of share a little bit of my experience with maybe some of the younger players that this is their first time on a scale like this.
And you got such an easy group with Australia and Sweden and Nigeria as well. You didn't get any favors with that draw. So is it even more of a challenge and even more driven to perform well, given that you are possibly in the toughest group in the World Cup?
Well, I think that we need to perform well, and it's something that we know and that we embrace. You know, we wouldn't want any off games, you know. I think that, you know, to be the best, you have to beat the best, and I think that we invite the difficult group. I think it will prepare us for games later on, and it's nothing that I don't think this group can handle.
You have New Jersey girls and you have California girls on this team. Which state is better?
The weather might be a little bit better in California, but I give the edge to the Jersey girls.
Heather O'Reilly, thank you so very much for joining us.
Thank you.